This is Tony. Just thought I would take a moment here to introduce myself there. In a moment here, I'm going to do a healing transmission, which won't take very long. But originally, I was going to do this event live with a bunch of people on a Zoom channel, but it turns out that Friday night, this close to the holidays, is just a horrible night for most people. I had about a dozen people go, "Oh, I'd love to come, but I got a family thing or a job thing, or I'm out of town, or I'm traveling, or whatever." Um, so instead of doing it live, since it turned out just to be a bad evening for most people, I decided that I would just do it here on my cell phone, which makes a much nicer video. So, what am I going to be doing? Well, I'm going to be doing a Divine Christos um, transmission. And what the heck is the Divine Christos, you ask? Well, basically, in a nutshell, it represents universal love, not at a human level. So not at your heart center level, but as a sort of more the universal level of that. So sorry, I just need to move this over just a teens so I can center in the video. Um, and so this is about bringing that in. And so this is an energy that's been brought in a couple times, in various different forms, and it's about connecting to true universal love in the sense of a higher consciousness sort of love. It sort of in a way represents your higher self, what you could become or what you are at a more deeper level, or your true self is another way to say it. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. So I mean, this is not really about Christ, the being, like in the Christian biblical sense. Although Christ was a great example of someone who embodied this particular energy, hence the name, and it represents that sort of higher unconditional love element. So we're using a technique that I helped develop many years ago that I used to use quite often when I would teach Reiki. Um, we would use this particular technique to do distant sort of, I wouldn't say distant attunements, although those are certainly possible, but this is about utilizing a technique because there's a lot of energies that we can work with as people, but in order to really sort of transmit them or attune to them, the person needs to embody them at such a high level that it can become quite a challenge. In other words, the physical vehicle that we're in can be somewhat of a limitation. So this technique, we developed this technique back in the day to allow us to do some of these higher level things, so that people could, so that practitioners weren't the limiting factor, so to speak. So it's sort of done in a way that utilizes a very specific structure that allows us to transmit these sorts of things. So you don't really need to do anything special, except for to sit down and close your eyes and go into your own quiet space and think about being open to receiving that which you need. And I'm going to basically probably take about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe a little longer. It's going to be a really boring video at that point because I'm going to have my eyes closed. I'm going to be sitting here. Or I don't know, I may have my eyes open, but probably not. And just be open to receiving the transmission. And yeah, it's already starting to affect me, and I haven't even done it yet. So, that being said, I'm going to start here in just a minute. So I hope everyone has found your quiet place and is there. Okay. All right, thank you, everybody. This energy can take a minute to sort of manifest. So what I recommend you do is you just kind of think about this in terms of being open to receiving it in the best possible way over the next, say, 24 hours or so whenever you watch the video. Because that's the kind of the way these transmissions work, and sometimes, they hit you like bam out of the blue, and sometimes they kind of, work their way in. I'm not sure when you'll be seeing the video, but have a very blessed Yule, and a great 2019, and yeah, I think that words are a bit redundant. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to be with me and to share yourselves. And yeah, thanks.